Let's get started. So we'll do a quick review of the three-note jazz chord voicings that we covered before spring break started, and those are the ones we used for the blues, if you recall. So let's use G as an example. So if we go to root on the 6th string, so G on the 6th string, then we're going to skip the A string, and then play F, also on the 3rd fret of the D string, or string number 4, and then B on string number 3, fret 4. And so we played that all together, and I'm just kind of plucking only those strings. It gives us a G7 chord. Now here, if we raise the 7th, F goes to F sharp. There's our G major 7. Back to G7. If we lower the B to B flat, it gives us G minor 7. And we can also use this G minor 7 voicing as a G minor 7 flat 5 voicing. Since the chord doesn't have a 5 in it, if we play it this way, it'll work just fine. So again, G7, G major 7, back to G7, G minor 7, G minor 7 flat 5. Okay, let's move up to the 10th fret and find G on the 5th string. So here's G on the 5th string, and now we're only using strings 5, 4, 3. So we're not using the low E string or the 2 high strings. So for our G7 chord, we've got G, B, F, representing 1, 3, flat 7. And we can do the same thing, right? If we raise the 7th, F to F sharp, that gives us our G major 7 chord. Back to G7. Okay, I'm going to rearrange my fingers a little bit. And if we lower B to B flat, there is our G minor 7. And again, we can use this also as a G minor 7 flat 5 chord. Since it doesn't have the 5, it'll work fine. But we also have the flat 5 right here. Remember, 3, 4, flat 5. So if we kind of go back to so G minor 7 right here, if we sacrifice the minor 3rd for the flat 5, it gives us one more option that we can play. So again, when we're playing root on the 5th string, we have 2 options for G minor 7 flat 5. Both of those will work just fine. Great. Okay, so that's just a quick review of the 3-note jazz chords. Here I'll play a simple blues just as a demonstration. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so let's move on to 4-note jazz chords. So we're just going to build on what we just covered, and we're going to add another string into the mix. So we're going to add the B string, string number 2, on top of those patterns that we just learned, or that we just covered. So, okay, let's dive in. So do root on the 6th string first. So again, we'll use G. Here's our G7 chord. not playing the A string or the high E string. And so I put all the fingerings down in the handout, so I'm going to move a little bit quickly on here, but definitely reference that as you practice these. So here's G7. If we lower the third, there's G minor 7. If we lower the fifth, there's G minor 7 flat 5. And then if we go back to G7 and we raise this flat 7th to a natural 7, to the major 7, there's our G major 7 chord. All right, let's move to root on the 5th string. So now we're moving up to the 10th fret. So here's G on the 10th fret. And remember, here's our little G7 chord. Now, when we add the B string on, there's our root on top there. So this becomes our G7 chord. We have root, 3, 5, root. All right. So here's kind of a cool option. We can start to play 9th chords. So if we take G and we move it up to A, there's G9. Works really well. If we lower the third, right, there's minor 9. And now, since we have 4 notes, we can play the minor 7 flat 5 chord with the 5th in it. So we've got root, flat 5, flat 7, minor 3rd. Which didn't I cover yet? Major 7. So here's something interesting. So remember, here's major 7 from the 3-note section. Now we could play that, you know, it works as a major 7 chord, but generally you're going to find this is a more useful voicing to use. So this is root 5, major 7, 3, just like that. So let me just double check that I didn't miss anything here on my little pamphlet. Let's see. Ah yes, the major 9 chord. So if we take this little major 7 chord voicing, 3 notes, and we add A on top, we have our G major 9 chord. So it's kind of easy to see if you look at this G9. So you 1, 3, flat 7, 9. You raise the 7th, and there's G major 9. So hope that's clear. Here I'll play something. This is the chords for Autumn Leaves. So just as an example, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, let's take a look at the examples for the assignment. So there's 4 examples, lettered A, B, C, and D. And so I want you to, work on those and be able to play them. And so I included, I think, 3 comping styles. Remember, comping just means, it's just a short word for accompaniment. 3 comping styles: quarter notes, kind of long half notes or whole notes, more of like a ballad style, and then finally a simple syncopated rhythm. So I'll play through them all, and I'll try to use a variety of different comping patterns so you get the idea. And remember, you don't have to play them this fast or anything like that. You can play them real slowly. Try to play them in time, maybe using the whole notes if you're just getting started. But hopefully this could be a reference. And also there's some chords that weren't on the sheet in there, like there's an A7 sharp 5 and an A7 sharp 9. And so with that, I want you to be able to, use what we've covered in the lesson and in the diagrams to be able to figure out how to play an A7 sharp 5 chord, by raising the 5, right, from a dominant chord. And the same with the sharp 9. So I want you to try and figure that out and, figure out the fingerings and work on it and perform it. So here are the exercises. Exercise A. Exercise B. Exercise C. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, here's exercise D. 1, 2.